Buckle up, folks, because today's courtroom drama is straight out of a soap opera gone wrong. We're diving into the turbulent marriage of Mr. and Mrs. Lane, who met in the high-stakes world of a hospital. Him, a charming nurse, her starting in housekeeping before climbing to nursing herself. But hold on, this isn't your average love story. From day one, infidelity shadows their relationship like a bad diagnosis. We're talking multiple affairs, a long-term mistress causing chaos, a shocking FaceTime bust, lies piling on lies, and even a paternity scare that spirals into absurdity. Will promises and gifts fix the fractures, or is this union doomed? Stick around as we unpack the betrayals, the emotional roller coaster, and the jaw-dropping moments that could make or break this couple. You won't believe what happens next.
I met my husband at a hospital. At that time, he was a nurse, and I was working in housekeeping before I became a nurse. My husband's actually who pushed me through nursing school. Okay. I met him on the unit. We worked on the same unit. I fell in love since day one, but then very quickly, it was so many women throughout the hospital that he had already had affairs with previously. It was a mess from jump on.
So you met in the work environment, but that work environment had already been, shall we say, infiltrated.
Absolutely.
By Mr. Lane.
Absolutely.
Mr. Lane, from the time you decided to start being with Ms. Lane, did you stop all the other dating?
I didn't stop all the other dating.
Okay.
I still was seeing a couple people.
And Mrs. Lane didn't know that at the time. Is that fair to say?
She didn't know.
Okay. So we start off on a shaky basis.
Whoa, talk about a foundation built on quicksand. Right from the get-go, Mr. Lane admits he didn't cut ties with his other flings even after committing to Mrs. Lane. This isn't just a minor slip, it's a blatant disregard for trust, setting the stage for a marriage riddled with deception. Legally speaking, in divorce proceedings, patterns of infidelity like this can heavily influence alimony, asset division, and even custody if kids are involved, though here it's more about emotional wreckage. Mrs. Lane fell hard, pushing through nursing school with his encouragement, only to discover the hospital was basically his personal dating app. Hypocrisy alert, he pushes her forward while pulling the rug out with secrets. Viewers, would you forgive this early red flag or bail immediately? Hit the comments. Let's debate if love can truly conquer a web of lies like this. And hang tight, because the drama escalates with a mistress who just won't quit.
What goes on next?
I checked Paris a few times about incidents that I had found out about.
Got it.
And I let him know that it was unacceptable. But then we come across this woman that he had been having an affair with at the hospital for a long period of time, about 10 years, with his other relationships, that she had became an issue through our marriage.
So we're talking about somebody that was a long-term mistress, am I correct?
So this was like the main first big incident that happened with
How
this
long
woman.
after you all started dating?
For about 3 years.
Okay.
By then. And so this lady, I had found out about her maybe 2 years in. However, she wanted to make herself known so bad that she was involved with Paris. And we
Of
all
course,
worked
that's called side chicks ain't loyal.
Right.
That's
And
it.
we all worked in the same hospital.
And she wanted to embarrass you.
Exactly. And he did too, okay? Because it was his loyalty to me. But he decided to one day, he gets up, acts like he's going to work. He puts on the whole scrub outfit and everything. He goes and meet this woman to take her to lunch, okay? Then this girl FaceTimes me right there with my husband.
Oh, snap! This FaceTime fiasco was pure chaos. Imagine getting a video call from your partner's side piece with him right there in scrubs pretending to be at work. Mr. Lane knocks the phone away, then denies it all. Classic cover-up that only digs the hole deeper. This highlights the emotional toll of infidelity, betrayal not just in private, but splashed across a screen for maximum humiliation. In court, evidence like this could sway judgments on fault-based divorces, potentially affecting spousal support calculations. Mrs. Lane's reaction? Spot on. She calls it out as unacceptable. But folks, put yourself in her shoes. Would you confront them both on the spot or walk away for good? This moment screams workplace drama gone nuclear, reminding us how entangled professional and personal lives can get. Up next, see how they resolve this mess with lies and charm.
He knocks the phone out of her hand. And then instantly he was finna try and say it wasn't him. It wasn't him. Don't play with me.
Needless to say, you got caught in that situation.
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
straight up caught.
Initially, Your Honor, I told her that it wasn't me, but I felt that she didn't really see me on the camera. So I lied.
Yeah. So you compacted the infidelity with a lie.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
That's it. But you all were not married then. You were living together.
Correct.
How did you get through that incident of infidelity?
I left. I went to my mother's for a while.
Okay.
I eventually came back.
Did you promise that was never going to happen again, Mr. Lane?
Yes, John. I promised her, bought her some gifts, took her on some dates. You know, I did everything that you're supposed to do when you make a misstep.
You charmed your way
it.
back in.
Yes, I did.
Yep, fair. Okay.
Classic redemption arc? Not so fast. Mr. Lane pulls out the apology playbook, promises, gifts, dates to worm his way back after getting busted. But here's the legal angle. In many states, repeated infidelity can establish a pattern of marital misconduct, impacting everything from property division to alimony awards. Mrs. Lane leaves temporarily, showing strength, but returns, hoping for change. Yet this same mistress lingers like a bad habit, now claiming a child might be his. Talk about escalating stakes. This reveals the hypocrisy, vows of fidelity broken repeatedly, eroding trust brick by brick. Audience, is charm enough to rebuild after betrayal, or is it just a Band-Aid on a bullet wound? Share your stories below. Have you ever forgiven a cheater? As we dive deeper, watch how this paternity plot thickens into outright foolishness.
But this same woman, she had a child that she was saying was my husband's baby as well.
And you didn't know, obviously, because they had had a long-term relationship.
Absolutely. But all of something, I guess it didn't matter at
She
one
know that's
point.
not my child.
But then if it wasn't his child, he reached out to this woman a couple months ago, okay? Trying to figure out if this child was his after they weren't supposed to talk for years. Why are you calling this woman a couple months later, just now?
As I understand, Mr. Lane and you and the woman were going to do a DNA test, and then you decided not to. Am I correct, Mr. Lane?
That's correct.
Why?
Because the child didn't look like me to begin with, and then it was somebody else.
Hold up. This paternity twist is next level messy. Mr. Lane skips a proper DNA test because the kid doesn't look like him. That's not science. That's straight up denial with a side of stereotypes. Legally, paternity disputes require actual evidence, like lab-tested DNA, to establish obligations for child support, which could run thousands monthly based on income. Mrs. Lane calls out the absurdity, pushing for a legit lab over a shady home swap. This moment exposes poor judgment and ongoing ties to the mistress, fueling more distrust. Viewers, would you trust a visual gut check over hard science or demand the test no matter what? This hypocrisy boils over. Promises broken, lies compounded. Stay tuned for the ridiculous DNA plan that unravels everything.
Do you know how country that sounds? I mean,
No,
straight up country, and you from the Midwest, you're not even country.
And when we went to the woman's house to do the DNA test, and he's so foolish. What she wanted to do was, she wanted to swab the baby's mouth and swab Harris's mouth, and us leave, and her take the test on her own. So me and him got into an argument because I said, "Are you stupid? You don't
How
let
about
her
y'all
and
just
deal
go
with it."
to a regular lab, pay $150, and then get
No,
the
but
DNA
that's what
test?
he wanted to curse. Like, how stupid are you?
Absolutely. Why would you put yourself in that trick bag?
I wasn't thinking, Your Honor.
Okay.
And there it is, the ultimate facepalm moment. Mr. Lane admits to not thinking, agreeing to a sketchy at-home DNA swap that screams manipulation. Mrs. Lane wisely shuts it down, insisting on a professional lab for $150. Smart move, as tampered tests could lead to fraudulent paternity claims, potentially voiding legal obligations or sparking fraud charges. This caps a pattern of infidelity, lies, and bad decisions, highlighting how unresolved affairs poison relationships. Emotionally, it's a gut punch for Mrs. Lane, facing hypocrisy head-on. Legally, in court, this could tip scales toward her in any divorce settlement, emphasizing fault. Folks, who's more at fault here, the cheater or the enabler? Would you risk a trick bag like this? Drop your takes in the comments. Wrapping this up, we've seen a marriage start with promise but crumble under betrayal. Now, let's see the final ruling.
But at the same...
That's not the first time.
In summary, this case lays bare the devastating impact of infidelity in marriage. Mr. and Mrs. Lane's story began romantically in a hospital, but quickly devolved into a cycle of affairs, lies, and a bungled paternity scare. Key rulings? While not a full divorce hearing here, the judge probes the misconduct, which could influence future decisions on alimony, potentially $500 to $2,000 monthly based on earnings, and asset splits under no-fault or fault-based laws. Broader implications? It underscores the need for trust, communication, and professional resolutions in relationships. Skipping DNA tests or charming back and rarely works long-term. Lessons learned? Red flags early on often predict storms ahead. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.